How's it going, guys? Going to do a little bit of correcting today. Pulled in a vehicle that has some damage on all four corners from scraping against one thing or another. So I'm just going to randomly pick out one corner and we're going to take care of it. I'll show you how I approach it, what I use, and how I correct it. Let's get it done. Okay guys, so every corner of this vehicle has damage that is quite similar to this. Walking around and look at it, I should be able to remove 100% of this stuff. We're going to randomly just start with this corner here. I'm going to bring you guys along for the ride, so let's get it done. Alright, so anybody that knows me knows I'm going to correct pretty much everything on clear coat with wet sanding. We're going to start off with a 1000 grit. I have the Griot's Garage 3-inch polisher. It is perfect for this situation, for this kind of job. And I also have the 3M 1000 grit, 3000 grit, and 5000 grit discs. We're also going to bring in the QP On 6.0 heavy cut compound and a cutting foam disc for the polisher. Alright, we're going to start off with the 1000 grit disc by 3M. I'll put a link, by the way, down below for everything we're using today. This disc here is going to be the disc that does the bear of the work. It's going to be the one that corrects the scratches and the scrapes and the marring, and it is going to be the one we do the most cutting. Now with the clear coat, we're only going to take it down as far as we need to remove these scratches. And you can see the clear coat right there, that white foamy stuff. To ensure we're only taking the clear coat down as far as we need to correct the scratches, to hide the ones that are through the clear coat. That's the reason we make our quick passes over the area. We aren't hovering like we're doing in polishing. We're not doing slow, over dramatic arm movements. As you do in polishing, it's quite the opposite. You wanna keep moving. You don't want to hover over an area, and you want to keep an eye on where you're going and where you've been to see how the disc is cutting. We're also stopping, like we did just right here, in between every pass to wipe off the residue, come in and take a look, and there are 3 areas that still need a little bit more cutting. So we're going to concentrate on just those 3 areas here and take it down a little bit more. Okay guys, that's going to do it for the first step here. The scratches are removed from what I can see. You need to stop, clean off the residue, and get every angle of that bumper to make sure the scratches are gone. So they're gone. We're going to remove the 1000 grit disc. We're going to apply the 3000 grit. The reason for the next 2 steps now are to blend in the area. And the 3000 grit is only on there now to remove the sanding marks from the 1000 grit. We're going to step down once more, where a lot of people would jump to a polisher. I like to go to the 5000 grit. I also have 6000 and 10,000. I use those every once in a while too, depending on what type of finish I'm working on, what type of vehicle, if it's a higher end car. And then jump to a polisher from there, and I'm only going to be on the polisher for mere minutes, a minute or 2. It doesn't take, I can actually finish it by hand from there. I'd rather use wet sanding to correct than the machine, because the machine raises the temperature. It actually can raise the temperature of the surface up to 40 degrees. So I like to stay off the machines and do wet sanding where it only fluctuates temperature a degree or 2. There is less stress on the clear if you use wet sanding to correct instead of a machine. You're only going to take the clear down as far as it needs to go to correct the problem. Same as a machine, but you're not going to fluctuate temperature. It is easier and less stressful on the clear. This is the 5000 grit we have applied to the machine now. This one here, we're going to take we're going to make a wider berth as we did with 3000. It's part of the blending in process. Every time you sand or polish, you want to make the area a little bit larger. You don't want to keep hovering over one area the whole time you're correcting. This aids in the blending process and doesn't attract more attention than already needs to be in that area. Pressure with the 5000 grit is only, my hand resting on the tool and the weight of the tool. I'm just using my hands to guide the machine. Just as when I'm polishing or wet sanding or using the rotary, the machine is doing the work. That's what it's made for. I'm not stressing or leaning or pushing or applying 30 pounds of pressure per square inch to the tool. I'm letting it do the work, guys. Also take notice, the frothy white residue is barely visible compared to when we had the 1000 grit disc. The 5000 on up is almost, you can almost say it's the jeweling part of the wet sanding process. Okay, off come the sanding discs. We can put them away. We're going to take out the orange cutting pad, and we're going to use a QP-On cutting cream 6.0, and we're going to go over the area. We're going to go over an area larger than what we've sanded. Again, continuing the blending process, and we're going to get a nice glossy, perfect sheen finish to the bottom of the bumper we just corrected. This cream here will correct sanding marks from 2500 grit on up. It'll take care of light blemishes. It'll take care of hard water spots, marring, swirls, and light scratches. No residue whatsoever, no dust, and the polish will stay wet under your pad for as long as it takes to correct the problem, or until the abrasives are completely diminished, one or the other. And yes, back to polishing, so our movement is going to be slow and deliberate, and it's going to be totally different and opposite of the sanding technique we used earlier. Arm pressure, light. I'm only pressing down with my thumb and forefinger and the weight of the machine. I'm guiding it with the left hand, and you're just letting the machine do the work. Again, just like we have let it done in the first couple steps. There's no need to overexert yourself when you're working these. That's what these machines are made for, or you might as well do it by hand. The next correction I'm going to do, I'm going to break out the pneumatic polisher. It is a 2-inch with a 90-degree angle on the polishing head. So we'll try something a little different there. It has a heck of a lot more power, but I wouldn't use it here on a plastic bumper. That kind of power, that kind of change in temperature, that kind of speed is not necessary here. Here, you kind of need a little bit more finesse than anything else, because the clear and the paint is always a little bit thinner on these bumpers than anywhere else. That tool is nimble and is made to fit in tight areas, around wings and spoilers and down at the bottom of bumpers and splitters. But it is powerful. If you do use it, you have to know what you're doing, because it corrects extremely fast. That one also will accept a hook and loop sanding pad or correction foam pad. Okay, so we're all set to go here on this corner of the bumper. I'm just going to remove the residue. I'll bring you in to take a look. It is completely corrected. Alright, so there you go. We have one corner fixed. I'm going to take care of the other three corners that have similar damage from other incidents. But that's how I go about it with the Griot's Garage 3-inch polisher. It's perfect for that. It doesn't have to, you don't need anything overpowering for that. I'll put a link down below for everything we use today. You guys have a great day. We'll catch you in the next video.